Okay, I'd like to call this late city council meeting to order. On February 27, 2018, we had a work session prior to the regular meeting at the water plant. Very interesting tour. But we were a little late getting back from that tour, and we apologize to our people in the audience and the listeners at home that we're getting a late start. I would do roll call, please.
Councilmember Foster.
Here.
Gross.
Here.
Gill. Aye. Dodds.
Here.
Goodrich.
Here.
All council members are present, as are the mayor, city clerk, city administrator, city attorneys, and a few staff members in the audience. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Motion to approve the agenda, removing items 10 and item B in the consent calendar.
13B. Okay.
13, yeah.
Do I have a second to that motion?
Second.
Seconded by Goodrich. Any discussion or questions?
Was B being removed?
We need to wordsmith the recommendations, that they're not quite, I think, the way we wanted them to have. And before they get the thumb of approval, we thought we better just make sure they say what we wanted to say. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, the agenda is approved as amended. Do you have my proclamation? Okay. The clerk is on his way to get the proclamation. I think I'll just move ahead to citizen comments. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak to us tonight about an item that's not already on the agenda? Okay. Seeing none and hearing none, we'll just wait now because the fiscal year budget, that's important enough. We should have the clerk here for that. So.
Nice in your shirt there, Jill. I like that one. I know.
You could probably just could have handed me your computer. It's probably on there.
How's your backyard doing with the
The
kids out
home
there?
rule
Is it-
proclamation.
Oh, yeah.
The dog, everybody's out digging, but they're excited.
Is it part of the pack or not? No.
Go spraying.
Nice to have a note.
Boots are just chunky with them.
Our short meeting just got a little longer. Whew, I'm about ready to start telling jokes.
Thanks, you're back.
Yeah. Okay, I would like to issue a proclamation by the city of Coralville. I'll do my best. Whereas home rule is essential to the effective and responsive municipal governance in Iowa and provides flexibility to make decisions at the local level where decisions are made closest to the people they impact and can be tailored to fit the local conditions, needs, and concerns in order to better serve taxpayers. And whereas the city of Coralville supports home rule and the powers it provides to make local decisions that best reflect the residents of our community. And whereas the citizens of Iowa approved adoption of the home rule in the Constitution of Iowa on November 5th, 1968. And whereas this is the 50th year of municipal home rule in Iowa, whereas home rule continues to be vital to the health and prosperity of all cities in Iowa. Now therefore, I, Mayor John A. Lundell, do hereby recognize the 50th anniversary of municipal home rule in Iowa and proudly support its continued authority. Signed this and dated this February 27th, 2018. Whew, I made it. John A. Lundell. And as stated in the proclamation, this is actually a very important document in that I think that we've seen in the legislative session last year and somewhat already this year that sometimes the legislators in Des Moines at the state level feel that they have make better decisions on issues that are important to our own communities than we do here at the local level. And I think it's very important for us as council members to stress the importance of local decision-making, whether that's minimum wage or plastic garbage bags or you name it. There's a lot of decisions that should be made at the local level that opportunity was taken away during the last legislative session. So, thank you. The goal of the Iowa League of Cities is to have every town and community in Iowa pass this. So, ours will be added to the pile. Okay, item 8 is fiscal year 2019 budget. We did citizen comment while you were gone. There was none. This is the adoption of the fiscal year 2019 proposed budget. We had a presentation at the last council meeting and a public hearing, and with a few comments, very supportive of our budget. It's still available in all the usual places on the website, Coral Vision, in the connection at City Hall and the public library. So with that said, I'd consider the resolution.
Resolution approving the fiscal year 2019 budget, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Foster, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Gill. Discussion. Roll call.
Gross.
Aye.
Gill.
Aye.
Dodds.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
The budget passes, all ayes, and I know I'm speaking for the council to thank the staff for the great job once again in helping us through this process in a very orderly and expeditious fashion. So thank you to everybody that was involved. Item 9 is wastewater treatment plant improvements 2017, a public hearing on the plan specifications, estimate of cost, and form of contract for this project. I'll open the public hearing. Are there any comments on the wastewater treatment plant project?
Yeah, this Mayor, we'll have our engineer from Veenster and Kim that's been working with us for several years on the project, just explain to everybody what will be included in the project.
Great.
Thanks, Kelly. Evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Dave Scheckinger. I'm with Veenster and Kim. We're the engineers for this project. And give a brief overview of the project. We started this, as Kelly mentioned, quite a few years ago. Looking at this, there was an issue back in 2011 where we had a administrative order from DNR to prepare a facility plan and look at doing improvements, looking at different options for treatment and so forth in order to get this updated. We had exceeded our growth expectations when we built the previous plant, so we were starting to have some issues with capacity, and that was the reason for the administrative order. Went through the facility planning process, and we selected a new process, moving away from the sequencing batch reactor process that we currently have on site. And as part of that, we're going to put in a new headworks building that'll have a significantly higher pumping capacity. The existing plant has about 8 to 10 million gallons per day that it can pump, depending upon firm capacity or if we can turn everything on. The new plant, headworks, will have about 32. If we turn all the pumps on, about 40, so a significantly higher pumping capacity. We're going to put in a carousel process that will be able to have biological nutrient reduction, and that's significant because the next round of standards is going to require us to remove nitrogen and phosphorus to certain levels, and this facility that we're doing now will be able to meet those limits in the future. This process will be 8 million gallons per day average wet weather, which is higher than most of our flows. We will have periods where we'll exceed that, so we're putting in an equalization basin so that when we get too much flow to push through the plant, we can put it in a storage pond off the side and then bring that back around. So that 16 million gallon basin will be where the south basin currently is. We'll have 2 new clarifiers, 90-foot diameter. Then we'll also have a new generator to power everything on site and do quite a bit of improvements as far as paving, storm sewer, and that sort of thing on site to provide access. Also included in this, if you go out on that facility, you'll notice there's a salt shed clear in the back of the parking area. There are 2 large stockpiles of material that we've accumulated over time from various street projects and so forth. That all gets cleared out because we need that area for staging during construction. So there's quite a bit of earthwork just to get rid of that rubble and debris in order to make room for the contractor for a laydown area. So those are the major items. The schedule on this was provided, but we have the construction permit in hand. Went through quite a bit of environmental clearance in order to get this project ready. We did have to purchase some wetland credits down at the Hills site. We are looking to receive bids on March 29th, award the contract on April 10th, and begin construction sometime in May. This will take about 2.5 years to construct, and it's estimated at about $30.5 million. So that's a project overview. Does anybody have any questions on this?
Thank you, Dave. I'm not sure you addressed the most important issue, though. You know what's coming. Odor control. Will we smell this plant?
Well, with any wastewater facility, there's going to be an odor of some sort. Certainly with this facility, by changing this and putting in a different process, the sludge is going to be much more stabilized. That's going to help significantly. We are still holding sludge. The staff that's been down there has done quite a bit to try to mask that to some degree or another, but we won't completely get away from it. We'll significantly improve the situation.
Great. Any improvement is good. So, any other questions for Dave? Thanks. Consider the resolution. Well, and I need to close the public hearing. Any other comments from the public? Any written?
No written.
Okay, hearing none and no written, I'll close the public hearing and consider the resolution.
Resolution approving the plan specifications, estimate of cost, and form of contract, ordering bids, setting a date for the receiving of said bids, and directing posting of the bid letting, all for the wastewater treatment plant improvements 2017, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Gross, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Foster. Discussion? Roll call.
Gill.
Aye.
Dodds.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Resolution is approved, all ayes. Item 10 is removed from the agenda. Item 11 is the First Avenue Improvements Project, 6th Street to 9th Street, and it's a pair of resolutions approving relocation of 2 business signs along that corridor. So resolution number A, or letter A, please.
Resolution approving a sign relocation proposal with Nesper Sign Advertising, Inc. for Arby's 801 First Avenue, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Gill, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Dodds. Discussion.
Is this all the signs we're going to be doing?
There are a couple more signs that the Super 8 and the Super 7 are going to move, but they're not going to move significantly. And the part of the package we made when we acquired the easements was they were going to have their own contractor move them since they're the ones who installed them, so they know where the electric and everything is. So
Okay.
Okay.
This one will be brought into conformance, correct?
the sign will be brought, as you know, this is a 65-foot sign. It will be brought down to 25. Part of this package is it'll be brought down to 25 feet.
Yeah.
The hat's like 15 feet high, so the sign will look a little different there.
Yeah, so that's as part of the ordinance when a sign is moved or change is made, then they have to come into conformance. So there's only a couple left, I think, BP and
McDonald's. And
Yeah.
the KFC sign went when that disappeared.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. Any other comments? Roll call.
Dodds.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Gill.
Aye.
Resolution is approved, all ayes. Item B.
Resolution approving a sign relocation proposal with Nesper Sign Advertising. Did I give that one? No.
No.
For Arby's 801 First Avenue. We did that one, I'm sorry. It's for Casa Azul Restaurant, 708 First Avenue. Introduced for adoption by Dodd, seconded by.
Second.
Second.
Seconded by Goodrich. Any discussion? Roll call.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
Gross. Gill.
Aye.
Dodds.
Aye.
Resolution is approved, all ayes. Item 12 is a board appointment. I would entertain a motion to concur with my recommendation that Amanda Elkins of 703 18th Avenue, Apartment 1, be appointed to the Library Board of Trustees for the unexpired term vacancy that ends in 2020.
So moved.
Moved by Gross, seconded by
Second.
Goodrich. I'll just say that, as it seems to always be the case with our boards, but especially the library, we received outstanding applications. And I asked several people, including the library director, for their input. And they all said, they're all really great, can't pick one, you know. So I did the best I could, and I encourage those that were not selected. There may be 1 or 2 vacancies in the normal cycle of things at the end of this calendar year for the library. So there may be another opportunity. Any other discussion? Roll call, no, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Amanda Elkins is appointed. I would entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar as amended.
Move to approve the consent calendar, items A through GG, excepting B.
Second.
Seconded by Dodds. Discussion? Roll call.
Foster.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Gill.
Aye.
Dodds.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Consent calendar is approved as amended. City Administrator's report.
Yeah, the only thing I'd report at this time is that I did want to let people know with the fire that was in Iowa City at the recycling center, they no longer are accepting materials at that site. And this weekend, we got a huge overflow of material that we hadn't been receiving, and it was probably 4 times the quantity that we could accept at that facility. So the solid waste department's going to do their best to keep on top of it. They do expect to have some issues for here over the coming couple of weeks as we're trying to get into the mode of not having that particular facility. So just want to hope people will be patient, and they're going to do their best to try to get on top of that.
Does Iowa City have a new place to?
They do not, they have not added to that particular location. And so, that's what is happening. Because of having to store materials outside, that's why they're not accepting it at that particular location. And I think that's one where a lot of commercial businesses used, and because I actually heard from a couple of commercial businesses that are now bringing their materials here. And as you can imagine, some commercial businesses have huge quantities of like cardboard, for example. So that is really overloading our system that was really designed to take care of residents of the community.
So where are we taking our,
Well, they're still taking the material there,
Okay.
but they just are not taking them on site
On-site.
because they're having to use some of that area for storage. So that's the issue.
Okay.
And I will say that tonight, my wife actually went to the east side Iowa City Recycling Center because she had some glass and things, and so off of Scotland Boulevard. So there is still a recycle center. It's a long ways away from where we live.
Yeah.
But those that, both Coralville and Iowa City residents, be aware of the east side facility. Is still
And there's also one on Dodge Street at the old Hy-Vee as well.
Oh, yeah. Okay, is that it, Kelly?
Yes.
Mayor's report, I'll just be brief and say that the residents should have gotten a copy of the, probably the spring connections issue, the newsletter. And that is packed full of, as always, of useful information. But in particular, all the favorite swap meet, the shred day, the citywide garage day, say all the Fourth Fest auction, all the events that we do in the spring in April and May, those dates are in this connection. So do like I did. I've already got them programmed in my phone, so I won't forget them. So just look at that. City Attorney's report.
For some reason, I don't feel like I have to apologize for my voice tonight. I wanted to share one thing with you. If Thursday were the 29th, which it isn't, it would be my wife's 19th birthday. So she has to wait 2 more years at 18 before a gift or anything like that comes along. Kevin?
How long you been married to her?
I remember my kids asked way back when we were dating, she says, "How old is this Shirley you're dating?" And I said, "Well, she just had her 12th birthday." It caused some concern.
Yeah.
I would just echo what John said. The home rule is being eroded by our distinguished colleagues in Des Moines who think they know better than we do. And next time they complain about the federal government telling them to do something, I will gladly point that back out to them that they know they know what it feels. They can know what it feels like then.
Well put. Committee and council members report. Lori, will start.
I have nothing, thanks.
Okay. Jill?
Nothing for me, Mayor, thank you.
Tom?
Our next meeting is the 6th, right?
Yes.
Instead of the 13th.
Thank you, yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, so that's all I have.
That's it?
Thank you.
Okay. Mitch?
I just did want to give Lindsay Mullen a shout out, who's the library board
Oh, yeah.
member that moved to North Liberty, but Lindsay was a tremendous member of the board of trustees, and we're going to miss her, and we're also excited to have Amanda come on. So,
Great.
but thank you, Lindsay, for your service.
Megan?
I really don't have anything other than to say happy birthday to my son Jude. He's 5 years old today.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, 5 years old. Celebrating his birthday today, and we will be registering him for kindergarten tomorrow. So if you have a child in the Iowa City School District who will turn 5 on or before, I think it's September 15th, if I'm remembering that correctly, be sure to get them registered at school, at your neighborhood school tomorrow. I did want to say that my husband and I did some math, and it occurs to us that by the time Jude matriculates through Coralville Central, we will have had kids at Coralville Central for 19 years.
Wow.
Our first son started in 2006, and we have 5 children. So by the time Jude's done, it'll be almost 20 years at
In the same
Coralville
school?
In the same school.
Elementary, huh?
Yes. So we're very lucky. We have great schools here, and it's a great feeling as a parent to know your kids are looked after at school.
Nicely put. Nice way to end. I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Moved by Gill, seconded by
Second.
Goodrich. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're adjourned.